After some time, a helicopter flies over the vicinity of Yeongdongpo. New recruits of Metro Union are excited to see the Necromancer, who is known as the #1 problem solver all around Korea. After the helicopter lands, Sungwoo comes out with his minions and his party members, and it looks like he just upgraded his equipment to the next level. The new players around the helipad are quite impressed after watching the second ranker with their own eyes. Han Seok-gu says that Sungwoo somehow feels different after he dealt with the pirates, and Gang Yeon-lee is jealous of Sungwoo's new high-ranked items. Sungwoo is carrying the newly upgraded dwarf refitted crossbow flames in his hand. It's a legendary rank crossbow. It increases its user dexterity by 3 and it grants bonus item damage of 30%. This weapon can be fired without reloading, and if mana is used as its bullets, then it can shoot fire arrows for 1 minute. Sungwoo is wearing Shadow King's robe, also known as Dragon Scale. It's a legendary equipment which decreases magic damage by 10%. It increases fire resistance by 30% and bonus item defense by 30%. The user can hide in the shadows, but his presence will be shown once he attacks or the enemy uses a detection skill. Sungwoo is getting pretty intense stares from the new players as some are jealous of him, while most of them look up to him as their hero. Sungwoo previously strengthened the Shadow King's robe with the leather he got after killing the Drake, and the crossbow with the Dragon's Heart. Sungwoo is fully prepared to meet the #1 ranker, and his stats are looking pretty impressive for a level 19 character, as equipment boost is helping his overall stats to rise up by a lot. After the landing, Sungwoo and his crew get escorted in some cars. Hanho says that their surroundings have changed by a lot in this short span of time, and Ji-seon says there are a lot more defensive structures around as well as players. Min-hum-sung informs them that there were more than 6,000 people who came to join them within last few days, and there are even high-ranked group representatives among them. But since only the representatives came, the number of their members will increase by a lot if their groups agree to join us. Sungwoo is thinking that the prosecutor must be having it rough these days, but once a solid foundation is set, it will become a huge strength for their union. Min-hum-sung points towards something in the distance. There are a lot of camps in that direction with military personnel guarding the premises. Min-hum-sung informs Sungwoo and his party that place is called the Rebuilding Alliance, and they are annoying humans. Sungwoo asks him if they are from military, and Min-hum-sung replies by saying that not all of them are from military. They are players from Uijeongbu and Namyangju. But since some of them are from military, it looks like they are integrating the northern forces of Gyeonggi with military equipment. It's a big force, so they don't listen to their union, and they are messing around with psychological warfare and political maneuvering. It's more like they're here to stop the union from growing rather than coming here to cooperate with them. Sungwoo asks him if they can be their next opponents, and Min-hum-sung informs him that all novels he read had destructive endings when something like this happened. After a few minutes, they arrive at the new Yeongdongpo Guild office, which is looking quite marvelous. They hear a lot of commotion after entering the building. Some guys in suit are forcing their way inside while the Crusaders are trying to stop them, and they are requesting to meet their #1 ranker. The Crusaders are trying to politely hold them back, but they keep on forcing them. One of the players in suit tells Min-hum-sung that they should not be stopping players from commuting with each other. The guy in suit says that this injustice is the reason why they are asking for an equal voting body against the union's operating cost policy, so the Yeongdongpo Guild cannot become a dictatorship. Manhwa Song tells him that they cannot do anything because Han Kang-seok is the one who don't want to meet them. The player in suit says that they are trying to monopolize the #1 ranker when they already have the Necromancer, and they coaxed him into fighting the pirates. Sungwoo asks him about what he's talking about, and the player gets alerted after seeing Sungwoo in the flesh. They are a bit taken aback by this, as they thought it will take him a lot more time to deal with the pirate problem. Sungwoo informs them that he agreed to cooperate with the Yeongdongpo Guild on his own, and no one forced him to do anything. The player in suit says that Sungwoo is just misunderstanding something, and Sungwoo asks him about this misunderstanding. The player in suit says that he is misunderstanding the fact that he is not doing these things with his own free will. He looks young, that's why others can easily fool him. Sungwoo stares at him for a few seconds and he says that he will give him a piece of advice as he just gave him one. Sungwoo powers up and he tells him to speak well at every given moment. He is very wrong in thinking that his careless words will always be let go in this day and age. All men in suits become afraid after watching Sungwoo's pumped up state. They start leaving after saying that they are not pushovers, and their leader tells Sungwoo to think carefully about what he just said to him. Sung informs Sungwoo that this is the rebuilding alliance he was previously talking about. They have a leader, but the Union don't know about his identity, and they keep making requests without offering anything in return. Sungwoo tells them to be careful while cooperating with such groups, and Sung says he is right, because bastards like the Evolution Society can infiltrate their ranks using such groups. Sungwoo moves ahead on his own as regular members are not allowed any further. When he enters a room, he finds an exhausted prosecutor who tells him that he was waiting for him. Sungwoo says that he's not looking well, and the prosecutor tells him that there is so much work to do as leading a bigger group requires a lot of attention. The prosecutor says that there is a lot more he wants to ask him about the Chinese server, but he needs to meet Han Kang-sok first. He told them that he came here because of something related to the fate of Korea, and prosecutor can't really figure out who he is. Han Kang-sok is something extremely different, and he's not sure if they can call him a human. Han Kang-sok refused to talk to anyone else, so the prosecutor hopes to speak with Sungwoo after his talk with him, since that fate could be something where time is running out. They both come to a stop after a few steps. A powerful wave appears around them, and they get a notification stating that an unknown energy is encroaching their area. Sungwoo gets alerted as he has never heard about anything like this before. Sungwoo asks prosecutor about it, and the prosecutor says that he has no idea about it. Another notification pops up which says that the unknown energy is causing his body to become intimidated and all of his stats decrease by 1. Sungwoo can barely stand up because of the debuff he just received by approaching the room of Kang-sok. The prosecutor tells him that they need to hurry up as the longer they are affected, the more worse it gets. And at the same time, they get hit with another debuff which decreases their stats by 2. The prosecutor opens the door where Han Kang-sok resides, but inside the room, they can only see a faint light over the desks. There is a fairy-looking creature eating sweet cakes at the moment. The fairy gets alerted as she sees Sungwoo, and the prosecutor asks her about Han Kang-sok. The fairy quickly moves to a room where she informs Han Kang-sok that he has got some guests. The door of the room opens up, and they get hit by another debuff, which decreases their stats by 4. Finally, Han Kang-sok makes his appearance with the fairy, and the players get hit by another debuff which decreases their overall stats by 5. Sungwoo is thinking that Han Kang-sok feels different as he has Halo around him, or maybe Sungwoo is just seeing things. Han Kang-sok is surrounded by an unknown energy which seems completely otherworldly. Sungwoo receives another notification which says he has spotted a godhead, and he has the complete qualifications to directly meet a godhead. Sungwoo receives another notification that the powers of a demigod is putting pressure on his power, which in turn decreases all of his stats by 7. Han Kang-sok says to Sungwoo that it looks like he saw it. He says that Sungwoo took a peek at his identity. Sungwoo is thinking that it does not make sense for a first ranker to be a half-god. In terms of the system classification, he is a 6-star class that exceeds even 5 stars. Sungwoo has no idea what does the system mean when it says demigod. It can simply mean that he is a demigod for real, or maybe it is related to some class, or it can also have some other meaning behind it. The prosecutor went out by himself as he could not stay there for long due to this effect, and Han Kang-sok wanted to meet Sungwoo in the first place. But being with Han Kang-sok is more difficult than what he expected. There is an absolute sense of difference, and it's hard to control the emotions as it fluctuates from curiosity to awe. Han Kang-sok asks Sungwoo if he wants a Coke or a Sprite. Sungwoo says that he is fine with water, while the fairy says that she needs a Sprite. Han Kang-sok hands over Sprite to her, and he tells her to not drink too much. He further says that she might not be able to fly if she drank like last time, but it is already too late as she's drinking it like it's her last drink. Han Kang-sok says that he wanted to meet Sungwoo once as he's the biggest star of Korea. Sungwoo is thinking that he needs to remain focused as he needs to find out who Han Kang-sok is. First of all, his bracelet and 5 rings all look like high in rank. Even when he's not armed, anyone can still guess how much good his items are, and the same can be said about Sungwoo for his equipment. Han Kang-sok thanks Sungwoo for coming to see him even when he's so busy. Kang-sok was especially moved by his actions during the Yeouido Island raid, and Shun the fairy also liked that fight the most. Shun says her name sucks as Kang-sok has the worst naming sense, but she agrees with him saying that Yeouido Island fight was really awesome. Shun asks if Sungwoo can let her ride that bone drake later, and Sungwoo asks Kang-sok if Shun is an item. Kang-sok says that he is correct as Sean is an item, but Sean gets angry after they call her a mere item. Kang-sok asks Sung-woo if he has ever played Tamagotchi before. Its happiness level goes up if you feed it cake and Sprite. He further says that it is the best item to prevent depression. Sean angrily asks Kang-sok about why he called her an item and he will be alone all day without her. Kang-sok tells her that he just said that she's good for preventing depression. Sung-woo asks Kang-sok about the thing he said that will change the fate of Korea. Kang-sok applauds Sung-woo for getting straight to the point, and he starts by explaining about an item he has in his possession. He saw a prophecy through a prophecy crystal by chance during a hunt. It was called Bad Ending number 15. Sung-woo's expression changes a little bit, and Kang-sok says that he must have also seen those prophecy crystals before. The bad endings Sung-woo saw were an ascension of a lich and the emergence of a world tree. Han Kang-sok informs him that there are some prophecy stones which prophecy begins the moment a player learns about it. All you have to do is to discover that crystal and it will trigger that prophecy. Kang-sok gets to the point and informs him that he accidentally touched a prophecy stone and activated a new prophecy, and it was recommended to clear it with a party of level 27. Sung-woo gets shocked after knowing about this Hell's Door, while Kang-sok tells him that level 27 is no problem for him, but the main problem is the party play part. Kang-sok pulls out a crystal as it is probably faster to show him than to explain it. After touching it, Sung-woo receives a notification stating that he has come in contact with a prophecy stone of Korean server Bad Ending. Sung-woo's vision fades with a bright flash of light. He appears inside a dark space and it feels like the whole world is enveloped into darkness. After some time, Sung-woo can see Kang-sok along with Sean. Kang-sok finds a prophecy crystal inside the belly of a monster he just slayed. Kang-sok tries to touch the prophecy crystal, but as he was about to touch it, it gets launched up into the sky. The crystal splits the sky and a notification pops up saying that the Hell's Door first floor is opening. Hell Gate opens up in two different places. There are monsters present inside the Hell's Gate who are on fire. Sung-woo is wondering as to why Hell's Door opened up in two places that are far apart. One by one, powerful monsters start pouring out of the gates. These monsters are mostly the fire type, and they start wreaking havoc in the nearby cities. In a few minutes, a whole city gets lit on fire. A notification pops up which says that this is the future that will happen if he fails to stop the Hell's Moving Armor from Hell Door. As time passes, the Hell's Moving Armor will absorb the essence of the earth and release stronger flames. With that being said, the prophecy ends with a bright flash of light. Kang-sok asks Sung-woo if he has seen it all, and Sung-woo replies with a yes. Kang-sok says that maybe this game is trying to destroy their world. He can defeat any type of monster it can throw at him, but that Hell's Moving Armor opened two doors that need to be dealt within a time limit, and if they can't defeat them at the same time, they will just keep on resurrecting. Sung-woo is thinking that Han Kang-sok is a solo player, and he thought that Sung-woo will only be able to reach level 27 besides himself. Han Kang-sok further says that those two armors are heading north. They are slowly getting stronger and they will arrive at Yeongdong-po in a few weeks. They can think of Kang-sok being the only player who can deal with them. He can just leave the country as well, but he's offering to help them. He will split the rewards in half with Sung-woo as well. Sung-woo is thinking that Han Kang-sok was the one who touched the crystal, which in turn spawned those two armors, but he's not thinking that he's the main cause of this. It might not be his fault that the prophecy started as soon as he touched the crystal, but his way of saying that he will help is so patronizing. Sung-woo asks Kang-sok about the rewards. Han Kang-sok says that he thinks that an unexpected legendary item will be given as a reward. Sung-woo says then he is sure that there's gonna be only one item, and Kang-sok agrees with him, saying that only one of them will be able to take that item. So he asks Sung-woo to play a game with him if he's confident enough to win it. Sung-woo now knows well about the nature of this guy. Han Kang-sok is enjoying this hell-wrecked world. With that being said, Sung-woo agrees with his request. After some time, right outside the Yeongdong-po main building, Sung-woo informs the prosecutor about the things he just talked about with Han Kang-sok. Prosecutor says that one bizarre thing is happening right after another. He really wants to believe that it's all a joke. Manhwa Song says it is true, as the report she received from the emergency wide raid scouting team they dispatched says that a group of monsters started fires in the Pyeongtaek and Ansang region, and they are now roaming around. The boss monster is an armor type monster and dozens of hellhounds are circling around the area. The real problem is that the places they have passed through have all burned down and are left with nothing but ashes, to the extent that nothing can be reconstructed in there. The prosecutor is a bit scared as something of such massive scale is coming to Yeongdongpo, and it might not be their final destination, but it doesn't look like it won't avoid them on their way. Sungwoo is thinking that they cannot predict the Hell's Armor movement, so even the people of Suwon can be in danger. After the pirates, they now need to face the Hell's Armor. That's why Sungwoo decided to cooperate with the number 1 ranker, as he had no other choice. Sungwoo says that he is planning on moving now because the longer they wait, the stronger their enemies will get. Prosecutor tells him that he will help them in evacuating the people of Suwon, and he is thinking that it is frustrating as all he can do is work in the back like this. But right now, he needs to grow strong under his shadow and send those capable to fight, though things might change if they can create the union. Rather than believing in the mysterious Han Kang-sok, it's better to fully support Sungwoo right now.